Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Triple Threat Show on WXJM, 88.7 FM Harrisonburg, Virginia, and WXJM.org. My name is Jeremy Lapidus, host of this Triple Threat Show, joined, as always, by my three friends and co-hosts,
Shane Brisland,
Peter Kegwin,
and
Caleb.
Thank you so much for tuning in,
I'm
everybody.
going to stick with the bit. You are not getting me to do it.
You did it once.
I did it once by accident.
There
was once I said my last name and I was like, dang it, I ruined the bit. But now I gotta bring it back. The bit's got to stay. I don't have a last name. I'm not real.
I say that one of these times when Caleb inevitably forgets and like accidentally does it. The next time we all go around and Jeremy says Jeremy, you say Shane, I say Peter, then Caleb will
And see if I accidentally just like keep it going. Like,
what if one of us, like, after he says Caleb, we just, like, say his last name, right? Immediately.
no, that would I'd rate it. I think it's funny.
We'll do it at the end of the show.
Yeah, we'll do it.
On top of
Except
the
the
hour,
issue
yeah.
is that everyone's going to say it at once. And so it's just
gonna
going
be
to
so
ruined.
incoherent.
It's going to be absolutely coherent.
Someone just tunes in and just gets shouted, Carney.
Everyone's just like, what?
Well, yes, thank you everyone for tuning in. You can check us out on YouTube at The Triple Threat Show, where this is currently streaming live. You can check us out on Twitter at 3 Threat Show. You can check us out on Instagram at The Triple Threat Show. We have a lot to get into. But
So, wait, fun fact before. So, I thought that there had to be another Triple Threat Show when, so on YouTube. So, I looked it up. And there's a lot of channels called the Triple Threat Show just with no videos.
Right.
And then there's one like YouTube like playlist that when you search the Triple Threat Show is at the top. It's the weirdest thing I think I've ever seen. But then if you scroll a few things down, there's a video of a group of 3 friends called the Triple Threat Show, and they made it back in September or something, and it says, new videos coming soon, just need to get my streaming set up, should be done in a week or so. It's been like a year.
It's a really long week.
Man.
No, when I first created the channel, whenever you search Triple Threat Show, there was the first video that popped up, or first thing that popped up was a video of 3 stick figure girls.
That's still it.
That's still there.
That's still it.
Oh, cool.
That's still it. I tried to watch one of the videos just to be like, what is this? Maybe, like, let's see. I maybe made it like a second before I was like, this is the weirdest thing. I can't watch it. It was the dark
And
side
I
of
think
YouTube.
that leads into our first 5 questions to avoid liability.
But yeah, before we get into it, we obviously took a week off for spring break. So, how was everybody's spring break? What did you guys get up to?
I destroyed my ankle.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it the first night, too?
Second night. Yeah, destroyed my ankle.
Yeah.
That was really funny. Oh, I got a big brace on my leg.
Yeah, I had to go to Walmart the very next day to
It
buy
was
him
the
an
funniest
ankle
thing. I'm
brace,
sorry.
yeah.
I laugh about it.
No, it's so funny, just with all the things that happened that week.
That was a fun week.
That was a fun
Hayden,
week.
we miss you. I'm glad you got to join us for spring break.
Yeah. It
Hayden,
was like,
hopefully you're listening today.
the first few days were really fun, but the end of that week, I just couldn't keep up anymore. It's like, all right, my brain is just fried.
My brain was done.
Yeah.
After Dylan left,
There's no functioning brain cells after that.
there was no functioning brain cells left.
When was
that
Dylan there?
Different Dylan.
No, different Dylan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dylan plays ice hockey.
Yeah, Dylan from
gotcha.
hockey, yeah.
Yeah, I saw him today.
Oh, yeah, well, he is an engineer, so.
He was getting food at festival.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
checks out.
Checks out, absolutely. It was funny. I ran into him, asked him how he was doing, how he felt after Tuesday.
After his Tuesday night.
After his Tuesday night, he
that
said,
was a
"Man,
rough Tuesday night.
he said, man, I rebounded real nicely." He's like, "I didn't get enough sleep." He was like, "I got home and then I went to tech." I was like, "Oof."
Long day.
Wow, a trade just happened on the NFL.
The Elijah Moore trade?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we got to cover a lot of NFL news.
Yeah,
Jeremy,
but-
how was your spring break?
It was wonderful. I had such a good time. I went on a cruise. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed it, and yeah.
That's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
And
Peter, what did you do for your non-existent spring break as you are an old man?
I am an old man, but I did go on a break
Nice.
with my girlfriend, and we went to North Carolina, and we went hiking the entire time. The first day there, we probably did 1,300, 1,400. We burned like 1,300 or 1,400 calories. And then the second day, I burned 2,000. It was about 1,200 feet in elevation changes.
That's awesome.
And we went on 3 to 4 hikes a day. So
I don't know if you guys want a fun mental image of what our trip was like. At one point, there was 4 grown men swimming in the ocean, holding hands.
Because it was so cold. And we were like, we got to stay in for 2 minutes.
And we made an agreement to stay in for 2 minutes. And at some point, Shane reached over and grabbed my hand and removed every drop of heat that I had left in my body.
That's how the Canadians stay warm, you know.
You steal heat from the others?
You steal heat from other people, yeah. That's how Canadians stay warm.
It was
We're like penguins in that.
It was
way.
a sight to behold.
Up and take
I'm
off
going to be
your
honest. Not our brightest moment.
There was no bright moments on that trip. We all shared a single brain cell.
I don't even know if there was a brain cell to be shared. Yeah, no. It was a sight to behold.
All right, so.
Yeah, so, well, I'm glad we all had a good time. But let's get into it because, like Caleb was saying, there is so much to cover this week because spring break falls in the middle of everything. So we're going to do a quick hockey segment real quick because there was a few huge pieces of news, and then we'll get into all the stuff we missed from last week and this week because there was a lot because, free agency started and March Madness happened and a whole bunch of other crazy stuff. But yeah, go ahead, Shane.
Yeah, so
real quickly, we are going to start with a much more different topic than we normally like to start with on our sports segments. So it's about a person's choice, and it makes me kind of sad the way that it was handled. So
yeah,
we're gonna start with that.
Earlier this season, Ivan Provorov of the Philadelphia Flyers, he chose not to wear the Pride jersey during Pride Night because of religious reasons, and unfortunately looks like it's becoming a trend now because James Reimer, goaltender of the San Jose Sharks, also chose not to wear the Pride jersey before Pride Night. And we went over this before in a previous show and we had our opinions. At least Provorov, I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt since he's from Russia, which is a lot more homophobic of a country, and it's being homosexual is a lot more looked down upon over there, and he's coming from the other side of the world into this culture that is really supportive of it. So okay, I gave him the benefit of the doubt because of the culture shock. But James Reimer, he is a North American, I believe he's Canadian, and it's just something you don't want to see. Like, he has his right to choose whether or not it's the hypocrisy between he's saying he supports the LGBTQIA community, but at the same time he's also saying he disagrees with it because of his Christian beliefs in the Bible. And of course the Bible quote Bible says man and a woman gets thrown out there all the time. And it's just extremely frustrating to me because I've had a hockey teammate give that argument with me before, because I have an older brother who's gay, and my teammate took me aside one day and just told me, like, hey, I respect your brother and all, but I don't believe in his choice to be gay. First off, being gay is not a choice. That frustrates the heck out of me because no one chooses to be gay. That's just who they're attracted to, and that's just who they love. You can't change who you love. You love who you love. And I just hate the hypocrisy of the Christian argument in the Bible, because Jesus says to love everybody, no matter your differences, no matter your skin color, no matter your preferences for love. And yet at the same time, like, it's restricting who you can love to only certain people. And it's just frustrating, that hypocrisy. And, like, if you support the LGBTQIA community, wear the jersey, because that's the symbol that's out there saying, hey, hockey's for everyone. Like, even if you disagree with it, you're still showing your support by wearing the jersey, saying, yeah, if you're gay or part of that community, you can play ice hockey too. And what he's doing is saying, like me personally, I mean, James Reimer not wearing the jersey kind of sends the message he doesn't accept you into the hockey community, which is extremely frustrating as a sports brand, because we want the game to be for everybody. Hockey is one of the most white sports out there. There's not a lot of diversity, and it's something hockey really needs. And this is just not going to help the game whatsoever. And I really wish the NHL cracked down on it, gave him like a suspension or something, because it's not right, unfortunately. I know people may disagree with it, but this is the country. We have to support everybody, and you can't do that if you're making exceptions.
Well, I did write down something that he said. He said, I can't endorse something I don't believe in. And that was something he said in his interview. And that was a little strange to me, because he talked about how he supports the community, and then he says, I can't endorse something I don't believe in. If you support the community, wear the jersey. It's simple. Just wear the jersey. You can say, hey, this isn't my lifestyle. Like, I myself am not a part of that community, but I support the community. Don't go, hey, I can't endorse something I don't believe in.
But I still support you. It's too hypocritical.
Right. I don't know. I think it's a strange time. I didn't think this would be something that we'd be talking about again this year. I thought that was going to be a one spin-off where we'd be like, okay, cool. This guy kind of comes from a different country where it's literally illegal.
Yeah.
Well, I understand his issue, because in his mind it's still probably mostly illegal because of where he's from.
If not, it's gotten worse in Russia, because I think the Wild recently had to rescind their Pride Night because Putin released a law saying any Russians who I'm paraphrasing and guessing here, but it was something along the lines
it was a Russian propaganda bill.
Yeah.
It was called the anti-gay propaganda bill. Is what it's been nicknamed. I don't know if that's the official name. I don't know what it's actually called. I'm just saying what it's been called in the news.
Yeah. So it's pretty much Kirill Kaprizov's Russian, and they were kind of scared, if he wore the Pride jersey to show support, he would get in trouble with Russia, and they were trying to avoid that or something. So it's just again, I don't know what's going on with the Russia KGB situation, and if he tries to see his family again, who still lives in Russia, as far as I know, the trouble that could go on that way. So at least there I can understand and give the benefit of the doubt there, because there's people's lives are on the line, and a whole political situation. But with James Reimer, this was just completely out of his own, and he's no one's gonna get hurt because of it.
Right.
So this is why it's just frustrating, because he went out of his way to do this, even though, and I'm gonna say this again, his message was just so hypocritical.
And I think
that's what's frustrating.
I think this is the direct cause of the Provorov situation.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, if he had gotten any kind of punishment from the league or anything at all, from refusing to wear the jersey, and doing that. Obviously, we talked about the situation already, but there's always the butterfly effect here.
Yeah.
There's always, if he gets it, then I can do it, so on and so forth. Something has to be done at some point. I mean, it's harmless to wear a jersey. It really is. You're not gonna get cast out of anywhere for wearing a jersey. You get paid to put on the jersey. So, I mean,
I think
just put it on.
I think if they're going to crack down, it's going to be on this one. I don't think they could have cracked down on the last one.
Yeah.
I think the league as a whole would not have been able to get over the Ivan Provorov. I think it would have gone down much worse. I think this is one that they can crack down on, because it does not include another country.
But it's just, you can't make an exception for the Russians. 'Cause
Right.
If you lay down the law, you have to lay down the law for everybody.
Right.
And unfortunately, I think this is going to set a bad precedent. And I'm just scared we're going to see more of this, and it's just going to create the wrong message for the NHL, and that's not good for growth.
I don't know. I think that this is honestly, from a business standpoint, I just don't understand how you would even let this happen. Like, let's all think for a second. It's not like he just suddenly was like, oh yeah, I'm going to wear the jersey, and then at the last minute said, I'm not wearing the jersey, and then went out on the ice. They knew fully well what he was intending on doing. Once again, it's horrible PR.
Right.
I mean, it's once again, where's the PR of these teams?
They could have healthy scratched it for a game. You know, they could have said he's on a rest day.
He's on a rest day. He tweaked his groin.
Anything.
Anything.
He
had
just
COVID.
He just doesn't feel good. Like he has a cold or he's got a fever or like, just play it off as something else. Just have him sit for a game. You know,
instead,
don't get the bad PR.
And in a California market of all places.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is that should have never happened. And
none of them should have happened.
None of them should have happened. But my point is obviously it's at the end of the day his fault because he's the reason why it happened. But a team needs to step in here and be like, we understand you have different beliefs than what you than our beliefs, and we can understand that. However, we do not want your beliefs reflecting our beliefs. We don't want this negative PR. You're sitting for the game. Go take your stuff off.
And it's not like one of those things where the Sharks are battling right now for a wild card spot, you know.
Or even
they're tanking.
Yeah.
I mean, even just have him like sit for a quarter or something like that. Be like, oh, he wasn't feeling well before the game. We want to sit him before continuing.
He was running late.
Yeah, he was running late. Anything. You could have lied about literally anything.
There was a multitude of lies that the world would have accepted.
Yeah.
And then gone, oh, okay. And he could have missed the pregame stuff and not had to do all of this and get the awful PR. Talk about a little bit of hypocrisy, and moved on.
For those who haven't seen the video as well, it is very clear from how he has written his statement that no PR member has read that statement before he's made it.
I got confused listening to it. I think what he was going for is confusion. I think he was trying to confuse you so that you couldn't understand
Honestly,
what he was saying.
It's just
think about it. I got lost.
There's a reason why he's a professional athlete, not a professional writer.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, but there are a lot of athletes that are very well-spoken.
Well-written. You see it a lot.
We've seen a lot. And the fact is...
James Reimer clearly wasn't one of them.
No. I mean, no... I'm sorry. You're letting a player that just made a huge statement that is against your beliefs, supposedly, against your beliefs from what you were claiming, out in front of reporters where reporters... I mean, you can see all their faces. Like, a lot of them are disgusted. Like, that they even have to interview the guy, but they know that their boss is going to want that interview.
They know that's the story that they want. The bad PR is good for the news.
Yeah, and so...
But it's bad for the team.
So you know that this guy's about to make that statement. He's not going to be like, oh, I forgot my jersey, or anything like that. He's going to make a statement. You're not going to think to read his phone or read his notes. He was reading straight from his notes. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's just horrible business. Horrible.
But as unfortunate as that is, I just think it's so strange that we're sitting here, what, 2 months later, a month later, after the first incident.
It's been about a month.
Like, I just can't believe it, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to talk about it again. I want it to be ended here.
Well, yeah.
Like, the issue is I know probably in 2-3 weeks we're gonna be sitting here having this discussion again about somebody else claiming something.
Right, it's been enough nights and enough time that if something was going to happen, it would have happened.
Right.
Right, it's been, 4 days? 3 days? Something like that?
Yeah, you can't even claim, oh, we were doing an investigation. The investigation is on TV. There's nothing to investigate.
if something was going to be handed down from the league or from the Sharks,
It would have happened.
it would have happened by now. So
It's unfortunate.
we'll see what kind of effect this ends up having on the league. Hopefully, it's
What is the demographic of the NHL? Like
very,
what?
very white.
But
of,
does,
like the players or the fans.
like religion based.
I have no idea.
A bunch of
Who knows?
rich white Christians.
Probably that's something you could.
Then that may honestly be one of the reasons why. Because if that is the majority of where their money is coming from, a business is not going to care because that's where all their money is coming from. They're going to be like, well, we want this.
I'm just like, I'm just overly generalizing, but yeah, it's pretty much hockey's a very rich white sport and mostly Christian. So,
Well,
and I've playing with hockey players, there is definitely some homophobia in the locker rooms.
Of the league's employees, the team employees, the players, 83.6% of them are white. That is a stat released by
Yeah.
The Athletic.
The NHL has horrible diversity.
So,
I was expecting it to be worse. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, same here. I'm like, 80, only 80?
but that's like overheads,
Yeah.
like all the way to
That's
the top.
execs.
Yeah.
That's
Execs, the employees, referees, players, team employees, people like that. So, and then there's another 2.48% that opted not to answer. So,
What does that even mean?
It means that they got the survey on their desk and they're like, I
I'm
don't
not
want to
answering
do
this.
this.
yeah. So, they've actually made huge strides. 2016, 93%.
All right, well,
So, by huge strides, I mean 10%.
it's progress. I'll take progress over no progress.
I will too. But that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So
So let's end this off with everyone here at the Triple Threat Show are supporters of the LGBTQIA community. We support trans rights, gay rights. Love who you love. And let's move on to talk about something more.
One more thing
positive.
before we move out of hockey.
Okay.
I didn't know we needed to state that part. I thought that one was given.
Yeah,
Let's
that-
make it clear.
One more thing
Just
before
on the record.
on the on the record.
You
Yeah.
know, we went on and on about how we think it's so wrong. But
me and Peter looked at each other. We were like, "We need to state this." I was like, "I thought that was
Just if
pretty."
you didn't get the point.
I was like,
Yeah.
"I thought we were pretty clear about that
Yeah.
one."
Look, you need to be extremely overt on the internet. You know.
Yeah.
honestly,
I guess that's
yeah,
true.
that's very true.
That's very
but
true.
they never
They're
said
gonna
it.
they're
They
gonna-
never said it.
No, they're gonna clip you. They're gonna take like, the 4 words where you're like trying. No, they're gonna clip me where I was trying to read Jeremy's quote, or not Jeremy. Sorry. Oh no!
Excuse me.
James Reimer's-
Yeah, where
Jeremy!
Jeremy. No, where I was trying to. I can't even keep a straight face now. I've ruined Jeremy. Jeremy, you're done. Canceled.
Jeremy, you wanted to work in radio? Well, buddy,
They're gonna quote me out of it. They're just, like gonna remove.
you
like,
may want to delete this stream.
This one's gotta go.
But yeah, before we move out of hockey, there was something that came out of last night. Positive news: Alex Ovechkin officially becomes the person who scored the most 40-goal seasons ever. 13. He passed Wayne Gretzky last night on a goal that looked like it was supposed to be a pass, but you know it went off a defender. It went off a defender,
They
so
don't
it
ask
counted
how.
for him.
They ask how many.
But yeah, snaps for Ovi.
Woo.
You know, he's already the second highest goal scorer ever, and now he's got
well on
another.
his way to being the greatest.
Yeah, and now he's on the another record that's his for goals. So congratulations to him. Yeah,
Moving on.
moving on.
Basketball.
No, real quick.
Oh, okay.
World Baseball Classic.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys
No,
have been
I
watching
did.
it.
I said to Jeremy that he should have a real quick.
I don't know if you guys were watching this, but it was so entertaining. The World Baseball Classic. It really brought to attention like the amount of stuff that the MLB sucks at.
I've seen a lot of articles about that. They're like, this is what Baseball Classic's doing better than MLB. I didn't read it. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, like
Sorry.
it's just so electric. The players, the energy, everything. all these big name players are like, this is the most excitement I've felt around a baseball game. Some of these guys are World Series champions, and they're saying this is the loudest crowd I've ever played in front of. This is the most exciting baseball I've ever played, and it was just really fun. It came down to a storybook ending. Shohei Ohtani was pitching against Mike Trout. Oh my God!
Is it just retired baseball players?
No, these are active players.
Oh.
These are the greatest players in the world right now.
But they're teammates. By
You want to say how it ended?
Yeah, Ohtani and Trout, the two greatest baseball players currently playing in the world, probably two of the greatest baseball players of all time. Ohtani pitches and hits. It's Japan versus the U.S. Top of the ninth, 1-run game, 3-2 count. 2 outs, U.S. down 1. Mike Trout at the plate. Ohtani in the game, and it was just such an incredible battle to watch. Ohtani struck him out swinging. Oh my God, it was so much fun to watch.
Do you believe that the U.S. can't even win at baseball?
Japan's the best team. Japan's so good, man.
They
They're very
looked really good for the little bit I watched.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you guys would have loved it if you watched it. And yeah, you would have. It was electric. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, that was.
You took me to a Savannah Bananas game now.
I want to go to one of those.
I would enjoy that.
But we can't. We're not allowed to push for any of that. Stay in your seats.
But yeah, that was the World Baseball Classic. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. March Madness.
Sad news.
Sad news?
JMU women's basketball
Out.
lost.
They
Even
probably
sadder news.
sadder
11
news.
o'clock this morning, Kiki Jefferson entered the transfer portal.
I thought she,
No,
I
she
thought she
didn't.
was graduating.
She
graduated.
has 1 year of eligibility left.
Oh.
So
Oh, okay.
because of COVID, she has an extra COVID year. Did she
Ah.
really? I missed
Yep.
that. Oh,
She
Good for
posted.
her.
She posted at 11 a.m. this morning. I got the notification.
Good
damn.
for her.
I mean, if she's trying to get drafted, I mean, it's probably.
She's gonna get drafted. I don't care where she at. She's gonna get drafted.
Good for her. Good job, Kiki. You did what JMU schools are supposed to do, which is be a feeder school into the big programs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sadly.
Yeah.
But
So,
as much as I want my school to win, unfortunately,
I
I
mean,
know all the big name players are just gonna head out. Ihanacho is entered the draft portal.
transfer portal.
Thank you.
He entered the transfer portal. So did Terrell Strickland.
Strickland's probably gonna go play for his dad out in
Yeah.
Cali.
He's gonna go play for his dad probably.
where does his dad
He
coach
coaches. It's at like a D2 or D3 school.
at? Oh, so he's going down.
Yeah.
That doesn't shock me.
Yeah, he's gonna go there. Iheanacho wants to go back to Minnesota. He said if it doesn't work out, he's coming back here.
Yep.
So,
I don't ask me about Minnesota. I don't know why.
that's where he's
It's
from.
cold. I'm sorry.
It's where he's from. He
For-
wants to go
What
play
sport does he play?
basketball.
Oh, okay.
He wants to go
Yeah.
back
we
play near
moved,
home.
we moved from baseball to basketball. Don't worry.
He wants to play near home. So, he said he's either going to a place in Minnesota or he's staying here.
I think it's interesting. I don't think JMU has any other
No, that's it.
big news. So moving on, March Madness.
March Madness.
How's your
Prince-
brackets? How's everyone's brackets? How's your bracket doing?
No, I can't say on the radio. Not good.
Not great.
Yeah.
How's your bracket doing?
In
Peter, did you make one?
shambles.
I did actually make one, and I had no intentions of it, but I will. It's doing fine. Though I did have Purdue going to the finals,
Oh.
and I was still rooted for the 16 seed when it got close. You gotta.
Of course.
I said UVA's first round exit. Nobody listened to me in the house, and UVA first round exit. I got that right. Other than that, I'm not doing too hot.
Unfortunately,
Really
my
pretty good.
streak of picking the winners come to an end.
So wait,
Oh.
yeah, I wanted to ask that. Jeremy, who did you pick as the winner?
I think I did a couple. I did 3 different brackets.
What-
I
your
told you
main
about my
bracket,
main
yeah.
one. It was either. I think I did. Who did I pick? I had Gonzaga,
Gonzaga.
and Creighton.
Yeah.
Shane?
Those are the two.
my formula was an alma mater on my mom's side of the family who was a 1 seed. And
Kansas.
It worked the past 2 years because it was Baylor, they won it, and then Kansas, and they won it. And then I was like, all right, Kansas is the 1 seed, and they're the alma mater. Let's see if we can go for a three-peat. And it didn't work out so well. But, it was good while it lasted, and all my brackets are screwed.
What about you, Caleb?
I have a final between Alabama and Houston. So, and then I have Houston winning.
I had a final of Texas versus Purdue,
Mm.
and I'm very happy with how Texas is doing.
Purdue, how's that going?
It's going great because it's the 16 seed one, which is what you always want.
How about that whiteboard in the Purdue locker room?
I sent you guys that text.
That's not doing too hot. I'm gonna be honest. That one's looking a little bit.
That's
more
a broken
championship.
hand. I guarantee you
Oh,
that
yeah.
guy broke his hand.
Whether
Whether they've said it or not is another story.
some basketball things real quickly. I think just about everybody in the country is rooting for Tennessee against FAU. FAU pulled a stunt against FDU, the 16 seed. Up 8 with 5 seconds left in the game. Number 15 on FAU goes for highlight dunk. A nice little spinning windmill. He missed it, is the better part. Proceeded to get booed by the entire crowd for attempting that dunk. So I will not be rooting for FAU against Tennessee. As much as I do not like the Volunteers, I'm sorry if I'm rooting for them. I just don't like.
Why don't you like Tennessee?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. Oh well, I mean mostly because I root for Georgia a lot.
That's fair.
My family's from Georgia, so like I all the time root for them. And Georgia and Tennessee don't really.
Mm-hmm. No,
They
that
go
makes
back and
sense. Yeah.
forth. So I'm not a big Tennessee fan, but I will be rooting for them against the number 9 seed.
I think FAU was just salty that it was that close to a 16 seed the entire game, and then it was just two really bad decisions that ended up clinching the game for
Yeah.
FAU. I mean, imagine a 16 seed beating a 1 seed and then coming in, and then
Yeah.
you're still.
Didn't
But-
St. Peter's was 15.
15.
Dang.
It's 2 years in a row where a 15 seed has made the Sweet 16.
And
Yeah.
I mean, you got to root for Princeton.
We love Princeton.
you
But,
know,
I mean, you gotta. It's
you
fun.
know they're calculating the angle of the ball going into the hoop in between timeouts.
I'm sorry, but whoever Tennessee plays, either Kansas State or Michigan State, I'm rooting for them.
I'm rooting for Kansas State.
I've got Tennessee in my Final Four, so,
No, I hope they lose.
Oh well.
I want them to beat FAU and then lose.
Speaking of FDU, though, their coach immediately
He got hired to Iona.
He immediately got hired to Iona. So
Which was impressive.
yeah,
I mean, it happens every year. Every time the Cinderella
Story happens.
this
they
coach immediately
get
is gone.
Gone.
The
Absolute
coach of
money.
St. Peter's last year went to Seton Hall.
I mean, it happened with Jackson State this year in football.
Yeah.
With,
Colorado.
yeah.
Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders. I mean,
Well, that was gonna happen anyway. He was gonna move up.
he was going to move up to Colorado State.
He was originally offered the Florida State job,
Really?
and then he said no, for whatever reason.
Other big news. Let's go NBA. Ja Morant.
He's back.
He's back already. He got a six game suspension.
8.
8 game suspension. But by the time they had suspended him, he had already served 6.
I feel like it should have been on.
Should have been the
top.
rest of the year.
Yeah, he should have been on top. But
It's either the rest of the year or on top.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that they don't want the Grizzlies like plummeting before the playoffs and then ruining
Boo.
the chemistry, but at the same time, I mean, what happened if this lawsuit where he literally allegedly beat up a
If
17-year-old.
you throw allegedly in front of it, it all works.
yeah, as long as you say it once, it's fine.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
The 17-year-old kid. What happened if that lawsuit goes through and they're like, he did do that, we have proof that he did that? How's that going to look for the NBA?
Well, it's a lot of ifs.
It is.
Well,
It's one.
That
really.
this
Yeah,
suspension
one
is the
And they have enough money to
is
settle
the
it out of court,
firearm
too.
on an airplane suspension. This is the firearm in a club and airplane suspension. This is not the possibly beating up a kid suspension.
Yeah.
So That's what is speaking.
There's
My
a
chair.
Oh, okay. It's like we have a mouse.
there's a bird here. It's our new mascot.
All right, but
Oh, man.
other news: Zion Williamson cleared for return to basketball activities.
Woo, that will be 2 whole games.
Yeah.
He sucks, man. I wish he could play. He's so good.
It's his fault.
Is it?
Yes, because if he just lost weight, like every single trainer has tried to do with him, he would be playing. I mean, he literally has the Charles Barkley build, and Charles Barkley has said so many times on TV, dude, you gotta lose weight.
Because Charles Barkley had to go through the same thing.
Yeah,
'Cause-
he had to go through the exact same thing,
Yeah.
and Zion's like, I don't care.
Paul George out for 2 to 3 weeks. Knee injury.
Scary looking too.
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean-
shocked it's only 2 to 3.
I mean, Paul George has really never been the same since his huge injury in the Indiana Pacers days,
No.
unfortunately.
I mean, but yeah, that just happens with age too. You know, he got that injury when he was like 27 or 28.
Yeah.
That's like near the end of his prime anyway.
No, I think he would have been good for a while.
He still is. He's still pretty good.
Yeah, but a lot of great stuff that he was going to be the next one up, so to speak.
Yeah, that's fair, but stuff happens.
Yep.
Injuries happen.
That's how the NBA
freak
works.
injuries happen.
I mean, Brandon Roy
Mhm.
is a perfect example of that.
I think that's all the.
Or Derrick Rose.
Yeah, that's the big one right there. Going back to March Madness real quick, we've got a couple lower seeds. We've got Michigan State 7, Arkansas 8, FAU 9, Princeton 15.
Yeah.
Which one of those teams do you guys think has the best shot of winning the next game, making a run to the Final Four, or do you think all of them are going to lose right now?
Well, I hope FAU loses. We established that. I think the team with the best shot out of those, I think Arkansas has a pretty good chance against UConn.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. UConn kind of looked okay against Iona. It was only until I think they started hot. But then they really floundered. And so I think Arkansas has a pretty good chance. I hope I eat those words, but like, other than that, I don't think Princeton can get it done. I don't think FAU can get it done. Michigan State, I don't think can get it done.
What about, did you say Princeton?
I don't think Princeton can do it.
Yeah. I'm just going to hold out hope that Princeton can do it because I think that'd be awesome.
Oh, I think it'd be fantastic. I would absolutely love it.
Yeah. That's not going to happen, but.
Yeah.
And if it does, they're not going to get past Alabama.
I don't know. What if Alabama doesn't get past San Diego State University?
That I would laugh. I'm gonna laugh.
I want Alabama to win, even though I have Texas winning it all, just simply because I think it'd be hilarious that the 1 year that Alabama does not win the national championship in football, they win March Madness in basketball.
Yeah, Alabama just can't stand not being in the limelight.
I mean, that would be so funny.
Look, they're already the number 1 overall seed. Don't you think that's enough?
No, the limelight is not.
No
good
one
enough for
cares about the number 1 seed until you win the championship.
Yeah, case in point,
Yeah.
Purdue was the number 1 seed.
But Alabama was the number 1 overall seed. They were like 1-1.
Who cares?
You know what? That's a really good point, Shane.
I was like, where is this going?
Shane, that's a really good point. And
Remember when
valid?
Tampa Bay won the President's Trophy with a 60-win season?
Yeah, I do.
And do you know what happened?
I do.
They lost.
Yeah. And so do you think anybody cares that they had a 60-win season?
Actually, yes. A lot of people cared. That's like the whole reason you're talking about it right now.
It's historic, but it's just like you didn't win the cup at the end of the day, so who cares?
I don't think we really need to talk about women's March Madness. I think it's pretty much a guarantee that South Carolina's going to take it.
It's South Carolina's pretty good.
disappointing,
It's tough.
When you have a 6'7" center and a 6'5" power forward,
It's okay. It's okay.
tell me what you're supposed to do.
Who knows?
All right, should we move on to football?
We got a lot of football to
We
discuss.
have,
We have
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
football.
We have a lot of football.
Where do we start, though?
Starting off, we'll go Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers went on to the Pat McAfee show and said he intends to play for the Jets.
First of all, good show. Pat McAfee show.
Good
And
Okay.
then the Packers came out with a statement saying that the Jets are absolutely lowballing them on the Aaron Rodgers trade, and they are nowhere close to a deal.
Yeah, because the Packers are absolutely lying. The reports say that the Packers are looking for a first-round pick. You're not going to get a first-round pick.
I think the most you should give for Aaron Rodgers at 39 years old is maximum second.
He said on the Pat McAfee show that he was planning on retiring before going into the darkness retreat. Do I believe him? I'm just going to take him at his word, so sure.
Why not?
So why on earth would you get a first-round pick for what could possibly be 1 year?
One season.
1 year you want a first-round pick? No.
If I'm the Jets, I'm offering a third.
So what I think, and that's what I think is being offered, I think what's fair is a second round and then a conditional second round.
I think what's fair
Throw
is
in Wilson. Colin?
Zach?
Zach?
Zach
Zach
Wilson?
the quarterback.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not?
Okay, I thought you were saying throw in the receiver.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about
no,
Garrett
no.
Wilson. I was like,
Whoa.
no.
And I'm like, I know there's too many
no.
Wilsons in sports.
I think the best way to handle this is to trade him a third, conditional second, so he has to meet some of the requirements, and then receive like a 6th or 7th round pick.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, the Packers are, all reports say Packers are only going to do a first round pick, and they're willing to go to the draft until that point. And honestly, if I was the Jets,
I'm not
after a
trading.
while, I would just trade up in the draft and take a quarterback. I mean, you already,
How many? Do they have 2 first round picks?
No.
no, the Lions have 2 first.
I know the Lions do.
The
Yeah,
Jets only have
Texans.
one.
Texans have 2.
Yeah.
Never mind.
No,
I think the Texans should trade for Lamar Jackson.
I would trade up. I would try and get the Lions pick because the Lions don't really need to be that high up in the draft, especially with all the free agent moves. So they'll probably be willing to trade up, take Will Levis, take anybody
The
other.
Jets have pick 13.
Yeah, trade up. You have pick 13. There's going to be someone in that top 10 that is going to be willing to trade with you for 13 and something else. I mean, you are getting an amazing wide receiver core right now. You have Alan Lazard. You have Garrett Wilson. You have Elijah Moore.
Nope.
Elijah Moore just got traded.
Oh, Elijah Moore got traded.
Yep.
Yeah, you said it when
You
we was
just-
entering the show.
That's
You were like,
wrong.
the trade. And I was
Uh,
like, oh yeah, the Elijah Moore one? Yeah, we'll
Anybody
get
have
to that.
anything else to say about Aaron Rodgers real quickly?
Yeah, the Packers, they've got no leverage here. Aaron Rodgers has come out and said, hey, I'm playing for the Jets. Your move. The Jets have said, cool, we have all the leverage. How does a second round pick sound? And a conditional third. And the Packers are like, no. And you know what? The Packers can eat that $50 million salary to sit on their bench if they want to. They have no leverage here.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers has already said he will not play for the Packers this next year. So if they want to eat all that cap space and not sign a single free agent, I think the Jets will be 100% fine with that. Trade up. Just trade up in the draft. Take a quarterback at this point. It would be great. It would put
No,
you
just stay
in.
at 13. I mean,
Yeah.
worst case scenario, you're getting Sheldon Richardson.
No. Every mock I've seen, first 4 picks are quarterbacks, which I think is ridiculous. But
Well,
if,
wait. So first, Panthers. That's going to be C.J. Stroud or Anthony
You think the
Richardson.
Cardinals are going to pick another quarterback?
not the Cardinals, someone's going to trade with the Cardinals.
Oh, okay.
So second
So-
is going to be Bryce Young.
Third is
Cardinals currently, but they
they'll
would
trade
it
out
away.
and someone will take Richardson,
And then-
Did you say
and
who-
then fourth will be Levis to the Colts.
No, I think that it's going to be the remainder of.
Well, yeah. That's just all
Well-
the mocks I've seen so far have been that.
Who did you say was going to go first?
CJ Stroud.
It's C.J.
Alright,
Stroud or
so
Anthony
five.
Richardson.
Real quickly, Shane, what's your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers?
He's going to go to the Jets at some point. I don't know how. He'll get there at some point.
And now let's move on to highway robbery for the first overall pick. The Panthers.
Highway robbery? For who? Who did the highway robbing
The
here?
Bears.
Bears.
The Bears
Okay.
robbed the Panthers.
Absolutely robbed the Panthers. Our group chat was the funniest thing to be reading that day. I'm sorry. I had so much fun reading that.
I was checking Twitter and like it literally just popped up right, and I sent it to you guys, and I was like, I cannot believe this trade.
Highway robbery.
I thought I got bent over for a sec.
Yeah.
He's been bent over multiple times.
Yeah, he just likes to bend over the Vikings.
Yeah, and it was, they removed a second round pick, I think. The first report said
Yeah, the first report said that they gave.
3 second round picks or something.
I can pull it up.
We could scroll up in the chat.
I thought it was
The-
3 firsts.
The trade that was put through was 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and DJ Moore.
Yeah.
They traded the 9th overall pick in the draft, the 61st overall pick in the draft, the 2024 first round pick, the 2025 second round pick, and DJ Moore. In return, Bears first overall pick, nothing else.
Originally, it was the pick 9, pick 61, 2024 first, 2025 first, 2025 second, and DJ Moore.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, if that one had stayed, absolute highway robbery.
Yeah.
It's still a little bit of robbery,
Oh, definitely.
but it's not as bad.
I don't think this is that bad of a trade. Obviously, you look at it right now. Let me finish talking before you give me that look.
No!
Jeremy, if the
What are you
Giants had done
talking
that
about?
trade,
You would be in shambles.
Do you want to know why it would be? Because we just paid a quarterback $160 million.
You did.
That's the difference.
I forget. Sorry, it's just every time I hear that, I'm like, they signed Daniel Jones to that much money.
That is the difference. Look, if we had let Daniel Jones walk, and then 3 days later, I see Giants trade 2 firsts, 2 seconds for the first overall pick, I would have been ecstatic.
and your best wide receiver.
Who's that?
If you had a player on the caliber of DJ Moore,
You tell me right now who our best receiver
I
is,
don't
and I will
follow
tell
the
you if
New
I'll
Jersey
be crushed.
Game,
and then New Jersey.
Darren Waller.
He wasn't on the team at the time.
yeah.
Yeah, but he is now. I forget. You guys signed Darius Slayton, Darren Waller.
We signed Isaiah Hodgins and Zach Pascal and Jeff Smith. I've never heard of this dude, but he's a wide receiver. And we also signed Isaiah Hodgins.
Guaranteed Jeff Smith MVP year.
Nothing new for the Giants.
But yeah, no.
They signed Paris Campbell.
That's
the one
not,
I was
not
thinking.
Zach Pascal. I meant
Yeah.
Paris Campbell.
So let's see here. For the Giants, they signed Daniel Jones. They franchise tagged Saquon Barkley. Matt Breida re-signed. Paris Campbell signed a 1-year, $4.7 million deal. Sterling Shepard signed a 1-year, $1.3 million deal. You told me he was not coming back on a team-friendly deal.
Did not say that. I said I need him to come back. Never did I say he wasn't coming back on a team-friendly deal. That man is... I said he'd take the vet min somewhere.
Yeah. Darius Slayton signed a 2-year, $12 million deal. Darren Waller acquired in trade for the
Just a third.
100th overall
It
pick.
was just a third-round pick. It was awesome.
That's a good
Yeah.
good deal if you are the Giants.
So for those who don't know, Darren Waller literally just got married, and his wife was asked on Twitter what she thought about the whole situation, and she said the Raiders GM was just mad he wasn't invited to the wedding, and that's why he got traded.
That's funny.
But going back to the first overall pick, I don't think this is that bad of a trade for the Panthers. You just have you have a new head coach come in the building. You have a new GM.
But now you have no future in picks.
You're wrong. You won't need a future if you can draft a if you can draft a franchise quarterback with this number 1 overall pick. Everything's going to be okay. That's what this hinges on. If they get their guy and their guy comes through, it will be a good trade.
That is the biggest if, though. If
If.
their guy comes through, and you want to
If.
know what their guy is going to be, because it's the Panthers and not a rational team, Anthony Richardson. And Anthony Richardson's going to get
It's going to be the
injured.
brand new Baker Mayfield.
He's not going to play well. And almost not every single report, I'm not going to be that much of a hyperbole, but so many reports are coming in that are saying the Panthers are so high on 2 people, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson. They don't even care about Bryce Young at this point. But there is a report that did come in the last hour that they will be every single potential number 1 overall pick they will be having for a visit before the draft. So I guess they still will have Bryce Young, but every single thing has said their two people are C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson.
All right, you know what? It doesn't matter if their guy hits. It doesn't matter if it's Anthony Richardson. It doesn't matter if they take Todd Centeio with the first overall pick. If he hit, it doesn't matter. Look, that was the first out of nowhere quarterback I could think.
Why
of.
don't you just say
It's
Max
just all of us
Duggan?
going around in a circle saying, if.
It doesn't matter who they take. If that guy becomes a franchise guy, I am more than happy. I'm ecstatic to
If.
trade away that much. Yes, I understand if. That is how this is how the draft works. That's how
It's a big if.
it's a risk. That's you take the risk.
That is a massive risk.
Yes, that's how it works. This is what the draft is.
I know.
Speaking of a
If I'm the
low
Bears,
risk,
if I'm Justin
low
Fields.
reward scenario, speaking of Baker Mayfield, signed a 1-year deal with
Hold
the Tampa
on, let me
Bay
finish my
Buccaneers.
point before we move on to things.
Your point is if.
If.
You guys,
Jeremy, go for it.
We bully Jeremy so much. Jeremy, I'm sorry. We do love you.
Say
Jeremy,
if
go for
one
it.
more time.
But if we hear an if come out of your
Yeah.
mouth,
and it doesn't. I'm gonna say the word if. Okay.
his segment's over. He's done.
It does. And if you go over to the Bears side of the trade, look.
Just say potentially.
Okay, DJ Moore, solid receiver. He's not a real wide receiver one.
No, but they got a decent wide receiver core now.
Don't look at me like that.
Did you just say that DJ
Jay
Moore
Moore
is
is
not a
not a
wide
wide
receiver
receiver
one?
He is a wide receiver. He's a borderline wide receiver one, wide receiver two.
Jeremy.
Double back.
No,
Jeremy.
no.
He hasn't, he's been really good not really. He's been good without having a good quarterback. For the
And
last
that
few years.
situation's gonna improve on the Bears, yeah.
Yeah, Justin
Yeah.
Fields is so good.
Okay.
Oh,
Because Justin Fields couldn't get doesn't have a good offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
He's got another year of development,
Mhm.
and now he has a legit weapon now.
Uh-huh.
So I'm have a lot
Caleb
of
is
faith in that he'll do
celebrating
well.
something. What is Caleb celebrating?
Boston Scott has signed a 1-year deal
Oh, that happened like 2 weeks ago.
with the Philadelphia
Yeah, that
Eagles.
happened.
I haven't seen anything about it.
Jeremy, how do you feel about that deal?
how do you feel
I'm
about-
still talking about the number 1 overall pick. I'll get to that later.
I'm just going through all the teams in their free agency right now.
I have a tab open if you go to Chrome
Yeah.
with the 33rd team list of all free agencies if you
Yeah.
want to
I
pull
have
that up.
it, too.
Okay.
I also.
But the look, it's a fair trade, quite honestly. If this hits, it's a fair trade.
So the problem is, Jeremy, is that you're talking about if that is literally the last time that a first pick was traded was Michael Vick. I think that there's not a Michael Vick in this draft, to be completely honest.
And that's fair. If you look at these guys, C.J. Stroud looks really good. I'm high on Anthony Richardson. I understand it's going to take a little bit of development for him.
I think it takes more than development. I think
I
he's
think
just
they
way
need
too skinny for
They
his
need
position.
a plug-and-play quarterback. I'm sorry. Anthony Richardson will not get to sit on a bench behind a veteran quarterback and learn something on that
I
bench.
mean-
We're talking about a Panthers team that almost made the playoffs last year with a combination of Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and P.J. Walker
in
playing
the
quarterback.
weakest division in the NFL.
It's even weaker this year.
The
It's not.
8 and 9
Isn't the
Buccaneers
Saints
made it.
in that
It's
division?
even
Yeah.
weaker this year.
It's not weak.
The
It is.
Saints just got
You-
better.
How did the Saints get better?
Derek
You
Carr.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up what they got. Ready? They got Derek Carr.
Uh-huh.
They got they reworked Michael Thomas's deal, so now it's a 1-year, $10 million
That
deal.
doesn't mean anything.
It
Jamal Williams,
Okay.
Jamal Williams.
So what?
Juwan Johnson.
Okay.
Uh,
They
The Saints are the definition of mid.
Kalen Saunders, Nathan
Mid is
Shepard.
better than Carolina right now.
No, it's not. It's actually
They-
exactly what Carolina is.
They got Jawan Johnson.
They don't even have DJ Moore anymore. Who's their wide receiver?
Oh, they
Adam
got Adam
Thielen.
Thielen. They did
Oh,
get Adam
They
Thielen.
signed Adam Thielen.
Okay,
Uh,
but Adam Thielen's not DJ Moore.
Adam Thielen is no
Adam
DJ
Thielen
Moore.
is so old. He's a good red zone guy. He's a good wide receiver too, but
Jeremy.
he's not
Oh,
getting any
come on.
younger.
You're gonna have to
Come on.
really bank if you. Are a
Like, don't get me wrong.
Panthers
I
fan.
love Adam Thielen. He's a great
Jeremy.
guy, great story, but he's not a wide receiver one.
I know that
When did this
you
happen?
like to, stay on the hill when people are like throwing javelins at you. But let's talk here like, person to
here-
person. You know for a fact that DJ Moore is better
yes,
than
he's
Adam
better
Thielen.
than Adam Thielen.
Thank
yes.
you.
Yes.
There's rumors Odell Beckham Jr. goes to the Panthers.
No, he
No
goes to the
way.
Giants.
No, he's already said that
He's not going to the Giants.
He's already said that.
There's rumors he goes to the Panthers. That goes through. There you go. You have a wide receiver
Rumor.
one. Yes,
Again, if
Oh no.
we are in the
Okay.
period of the. Oh, this is the off season, Shane. Everything is if.
In fairness to Jeremy, with this case, no one knows what Odell's doing.
yeah.
I don't think Odell plays again.
It's just like if your strategy for being
I
a
think
bet-
Odell's done.
Yeah.
I don't think Odell's done. I think that the
Well, you
problem is the
can't
contract.
seriously
He
think
originally
Odell's going to go to the
asked
Panthers.
for
I
like
can.
15, 20
There's
million.
no way he's going to the Panthers.
Okay.
Actually, the Panthers have made quite the haul this offseason.
Oh yeah,
Yes, they have. They've had a really, really good
Um,
off
big
season.
one was Miles Sanders.
They signed
got-
Miles Sanders to a 4-year, $25 million deal, and only 13 of it is guaranteed. That's pretty good. They've signed Adam Thielen to a 3-year, $25 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
They've signed tight end Hayden Hurst, who's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
He's an above-average tight end to a 3-year, $21 million guaranteed, or $21 million deal. Only 13 of that is also guaranteed. So their contracts are very incentive-based
Yeah.
for their free agents. And now, if the Panthers want to draft somebody like Sheldon Richardson, or Anthony Richardson, sorry, I was
Defensive tackle?
thinking defensive tackle. If
Sheldon
they want
Richardson?
to- if
Could
they
you
want to-
imagine the biggest switch up in the draft? They don't even take a quarterback.
Dude,
They're like, we
Shel-
want Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's our quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he gets to sit behind Andy Dalton now.
Did they sign Andy Dalton?
Andy
Yeah, they
Dalton,
did,
two year, $11 million deal. Only 8 of it's guaranteed. If
look-
you are the Panthers, I am happier with that. They also signed Justin McCray, who is their starting offensive guard, to a contract. I don't know what it is. They announced that he has signed a deal. Bradley Bozeman signed a 3-year, $18 million contract. Shai Tuttle, he will be on a 3-year, $19 million deal, but only 13 of it's guaranteed. They really like that 13. And Von Bell.
Right, that defense is so good. That's the thing. The Panthers' defense is criminally underrated. It really is.
I think the Panthers are
I
going to
like
win
the
that division.
defense.
I know, I understand. That defense is really, really good. And if you're in that division, you don't need a world beater quarterback. You're playing against guys. The best one in that division is Derek Carr. Derek Carr, we can all agree, is a mid quarterback.
You're telling me that Desmond Ridder is not an elite quarterback?
I mean, worst case scenario, they just bring out Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, I know. Taylor Heineke
Right.
signed to the Falcons.
There you go. The Saints replaced Andy Dalton with Derek Carr, and, they're practically the same, aren't they? They're
I wouldn't say
practically
that
the
they're
same.
You're
Yeah,
telling
no,
me
no,
that the
no.
Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield are not going to swamp?
So my point is the
And-
Panthers.
and
If
got
you're
rid of
if you're
Leonard
gonna have a
Fournette.
down year and you want to still be successful, this is the year. That division's only going to get better. This is the low point for the division right now.
And then took a replacement, Chase Edmonds, as their
Chase Edmonds on a 1-year deal.
Right.
Baker Mayfield on a 1-year deal. I'm sorry, but this is how you lose.
I think
Uh,
what they're hoping is that Tom Brady feels so bad that he comes out of retirement.
I think Mike Evans, Chris Godwin are both going to be fed up with Baker Mayfield, and they're going to leave.
Oh, speaking of fed up, well, actually, we should finish the Panthers segment first.
My point is, and I'm just gonna finish this quickly because we've reached the top of the hour, and then I'll end it there. My point is, the Panthers are in a really good situation right now. They didn't mortgage too much of their future. They only gave up a future first and a future second.
Well, they
That-
traded the
This
other ones.
year's and then
Right,
Yeah.
but they swapped first. Is
They
the
did
thing.
swap
They
first.
didn't give up a first. They
gave up
swapped
2
first.
seconds of
They-
first. And
Look,
DJ
that's
Moore.
not mortgaging your future forever. That's 1 year
But the
for what you,
Browns did on the
for
other
for
hand.
what you're hoping is going to turn into your franchise guy.
Listen,
If this guy hits, the Panthers are going to be set for a very long time. That defense is stacked. That offense has a lot of really solid pieces on it. That team and that deal, I know it looks a little one-sided right now, but that's because you don't know what the quarterback's going to turn into. If that quarterback turns into not even an elite quarterback, but just a franchise guy, it's going to be worth it.
yeah, and I agree with you. However, I don't think you're giving Saints enough credit this year. I will say that the division is still weak. It's not.
It's not last year.
It's not last year week though.
Last year was.
I mean, you have to remember that the Buccaneers literally got into the playoffs
8-9.
8-9.
You can look at the offense and say that the Saints got better on offense, but you also have to remember Alvin Kamara is probably not going to play this year. You have to remember that they lost key pieces on that defense. That defense is a lot worse on the Saints this year. It's not a great situation for the Saints. The Saints are holding on to that Drew Brees era so hard their knuckles are turning white.
And I understand that, but I don't think that this is going to be a cakewalk for the Panthers.
It's not going to be a cakewalk for the Panthers.
The Panthers, I mean, you say they've only mortgaged 1 year, but let's be honest, they've mortgaged more than that. Because a lot of their players, I mean, the reason why Adam Thielen signed with the Panthers, he said on air, the only reason he signed with the Panthers is because they're ready to win now.
Right.
They told him that they are pushing all their pieces in because they want to win now.
Yeah.
And what happens when they don't?
Well, that's
a
the
lot
thing.
of players are going to start asking for release.
That's just how football is. Look, they have a year to get this quarterback thing. They have a year.
A year.
They have a year of struggle, and then year 2 has to be good.
Name me the last time that a quarterback who was a rookie had a season good
Trevor
enough.
Lawrence.
Rookie. Trevor Lawrence, rookie, was not very good.
Mac Jones.
Mid.
It's good enough in that division.
That's true.
Anyway, we've reached the top of the hour here on the Triple Threat Show. My name is, we've reached the top of the hour here on WXJM, 88.7 FM, Harrisonburg, Virginia, and WXJM.org. My name is Jeremy Lapidus, host of this Triple Threat Show, joined as always by my 3 friends and co-hosts,
Shane Brisland.
Peter Kegwin.
and
Randy.
Caleb Carney.
The Randy and Andy shows here.
You can check us out on YouTube at The Triple Threat Show, on Instagram at The Triple Threat Show, and on Twitter at 3Threat Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. More football. We've only covered the surface. Go ahead.
We really need to start powering through some of these things because there's a lot of news.
Yeah.
Browns trade for Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore and
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're each gonna pick a thing, and we're gonna do a deep dive into it because it's better than listing things.
Dibs on Raiders.
Okay, we'll start with the Raiders. Go ahead.
Oh, wait, I don't want to go first.
Okay.
Nope, you're first.
Okay, fine.
You called something.
So, clearly we all saw that Josh Jacobs got a franchise tag. We all expected that to happen. But the big news was who was the Raiders going to replace his quarterback? As Derek Carr, they told to get out. And then, what was his name?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, not
Jared Stidham.
There you go. Jared Stidham also left. And so everyone was wondering who's going to be that guy. And we found out who that guy was going to be. It was going to be Jimmy G. For those who don't know who Jimmy G is, he is the epitome of a system quarterback.
Epitome of bid.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who ever is a Jimmy G fan says, well, look at his win percentage. It's greater than Joe Montana. It's greater than Tom Brady. It's greater than everybody. And then you look at his touchdowns and you look at the team that he's always been behind and you realize, wow, can you think of a quarterback that's been carried more? I mean, that guy got carried to a Super Bowl. And now he has to go to the Raiders. Caleb and I actually had back and forth for what the Raiders should do with their pick this year. And I said they got to get a tight end. Because right now they picked up O.J. Howard, and then right before the show happened, they picked up...
Austin Hooper.
Austin Hooper. So they're clearly going for a 2 tight end lineup.
I like it.
You like it?
It's very Josh McDaniels.
It's
very Patriots, yeah.
I feel Josh McDaniels is finding his fit. He's finding his players that's going to play his scheme. If I am the Raiders, I like it.
I agree more to what you said through the group chat now that they have 2 decent. I mean, O.J. Howard isn't very good, but
It's fine.
He can block.
He can block, which is
kind of crazy because he was drafted as a receiving tight end.
He was drafted as the next up-and-coming tight end, and then he just never became.
Yeah, but he can block. He was never good at blocking in college.
Right, that's why I'm saying that's crazy.
And I don't know what happened when he hit the NFL. He was just like, suddenly, I am I am actually now an offensive guard.
I'm sure he trained a lot for it because
Yeah.
that's the only way he was staying on a team.
And then the thing about Jimmy Garoppolo is that he always has needed a strong offensive line and a really good run game behind him. We have seen that he has a good run game, clearly, with Josh Jacobs, but he has no offensive line, and his defense is horrible, both of which Jimmy Garoppolo has always needed, to the point that Davante Adams even said himself that he does not wish to speak to anyone about the situation unless he's texted them in the last 2 weeks. Another big pickup was Jacoby Myers, another trade from the Patriots.
For Dorsett.
Yeah.
Another former Patriot.
So we'll have to see how the Raiders do, but let's be honest, unless they do really well in the playoffs, get ready for Davante Adams to absolutely complain like there's never been complaining before during the season.
Sticking with Raiders, Raiders signed Jerry Tillery. They also signed Marcus Epps, Jaquan Johnson.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Not Jawan. And then they've re-signed their long snapper.
So it really is a bunch of lateral movements for them. You know, we've talked about Derek Carr a little bit with the Saints, but Derek Carr, Andy Dalton, Jimmy Garoppolo are all in that same tier of mid. Okay?
I honestly think Derek Carr is better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
They're
Jimmy
all
Garoppolo's bad.
He's not that bad.
He's bad.
He's not.
Derek Carr is more upside.
Yeah.
Like
Derek Carr-
Derek Carr has higher highs and lower lows.
It's a different. I'm not ranking them. They're in the same tier. That's where I'm putting them. They're in the same tier. They're the same tier level of quarterbacks. That's what I've been saying.
Okay, well, one's at a higher end of the tier and one's at the lowest
Right.
end of the tier.
I agree with you. There's highs and lows to that tier, but they're all in the same tier here. Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't quite fit what the Raiders are trying to do right now. But the Raiders are trying to build Josh McDaniels Patriots right now. That's what they're trying to do. He's brought in a whole bunch of players with that 2 tight end system that he loved in New England. He doesn't have that elite guy like Gronk, but what's up?
He had fun.
No, I'm laughing because Ben Roethlisberger just said that the 49ers asked if he would come out of retirement last year, and he said no, but he's still considering it if any other team would like to offer him.
Bruh.
And I was just laughing because Big Ben does not need to come out of retirement.
That would have been so funny if the 49ers picked a Big Ben.
The 49ers picked up Sam Darnold, though,
They did.
which kind of dumb, but
I mean, it's
He's just seeing ghosts, you know.
yeah. But the Raiders are trying to build the Patriots. They're trying to build the 2007 Patriots with Davante Adams playing the Randy Moss role. You know, you have the 2 tight ends. You got a quarterback that is, you know, that guy. Jimmy Garoppolo played with the Patriots. It's going to be interesting. That defense has a lot of holes. That's where the real issue is. That offense can hold its own. I think it's fine. But in a division with the Chiefs, that defense has too many holes to be competitive.
I'm just still thinking that's a tough division to
Right.
have a mid-defense.
Right, you have the Chargers. Justin Herbert, that offense is insane. Don't sleep on the Broncos. I know Russell Wilson had a down year of all down years, but don't sleep on him. They've
Especially with the new head coach.
Right, they brought Sean Payton into the building. If there's anyone that can fix that team, it's Sean Payton. I'm serious.
I'm laughing because of the Sean Payton scandal of playing bets on players.
That was the defensive coordinator.
I know, but I'm still laughing because you said if anyone could turn around this team, and I just had an imagery in my head of he's like, first things first, and he brings in a whiteboard and he has like a top 10 bounty list, and he was like, $1 million right here, boys.
But yeah, no, that's a real tough division. It really is. And the Raiders are caught in between blowing it up and going all in. And they need to pick a direction. And they need to go full in with that. It's interesting. The Jacoby Myers signing, solid. I don't like that they traded Darren Waller, if I'm the Raiders. I understand he's 30, turning 31. He's got 3 years left on his deal, and it's a pretty cheap deal too.
I think the reason why is because the past 2 seasons he's been getting hurt.
And I understand there's injury history there, but what the Giants did with his contract is there's no dead cap on his contract anymore. They restructured it so it's all like signing bonuses and stuff. So that's $9 million. If he gets cut, there's no penalty. And they only got a third for that guy. A guy who, if he's healthy, is a top 5 tight end in the league. It's really confusing what they're doing there, quite honestly. And we'll see how it is. I know you don't like Jimmy G. He's a fine quarterback. He's played in that system before. That offensive line is really weak, but with the weapons they have on the Raiders, he'll be able to put up numbers. It won't be an issue.
I gotta look up this statistic.
What statistic are you? His touchdowns?
No, Jimmy G's average pass time.
He can get
It's
it out
just
fast
that
if he needs.
If they were in any other division, I would have a little bit more hope. But that's a tough division, especially not having a good defense.
Oh,
to
in
do
no
that.
way, shape, or form am I saying that they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
This is my problem with them. They're very similar to the Saints, except the Saints are in a bad division and they're in a good division.
Yeah.
They're both going to have the same record. If they played, they would beat the Saints, probably. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like they're very
Well,
similar.
it's just that hearing about the Derek Carr's history with the Raiders never had a good defense, and that was part of their problem. When their defense was decent, they made the playoffs. But since their defense has been so bad these past few years, that's kind of where most of their struggles have lied. So, since that's not fixed in that division, like, who knows what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They're going to stay at the bottom until, unless they somehow fix their defense and find a way to stop, the quarterbacks in that division, like Mahomes and Herbert.
Yeah.
But until they find a way to stop them, I don't think they're going to be anywhere close to a playoff spot anytime soon.
No, I agree. It's a tough spot to be in. Caleb, what do you want to deep dive into here? What's your thing?
Well, I just want to point out one thing. We talked Broncos briefly just a moment ago. Broncos really fixed an offensive line problem. I don't know if anybody saw the Mike
McGlinchey,
McGlinchey
yeah.
signing. 5-year, $87 million deal, $50 million. I'm gonna give some love to the big guys. In the AFC South, Laramie Tunsil, 3-year, $75 million contract, $50 million guaranteed. Laramie Tunsil is now the highest paid offensive lineman. And then I'm gonna talk Commanders. Commanders have 6 tours lined up of the facility for potential bidding groups. So we know as of right now that there were 3 bids in. One is from Canadian billionaire.
It's my favorite name of all time.
You want to say it?
I don't have it pulled up, but I tried pronouncing it earlier today.
Here, there you go.
Is it like French or something?
No.
Steve Apostolopoulos. Apostolopoulos.
I don't know. Apostolopoulos
Apostolopoulos.
is touring the facility today. He is currently in D.C. It'd be really funny if the team located in the nation's capital is owned by a Canadian.
Well, I mean, Dan Snyder lives in London, so.
Yeah. Dan Snyder has removed all of his things, along with Tanya Snyder. They have removed everything from the facility.
I didn't think Tanya was selling her share.
Oh well, no, it's all his, really.
Yeah.
But she still had a percentage of share.
Well, he's the majority owner.
The other
She's
bids.
just gonna sell with him.
The other bids are Josh Harris, and Tillman. I'm gonna botch that one.
Go for it.
You wanna attempt that one? It's down there.
Mitchell, is it that one?
No, it's the next one. Next one.
It's not. Oh yeah, Tillman Fertitta. I think that's his name.
Close enough.
Who knows?
Fertitta.
Sorry, but they are the known bidders right now, along with Steve Apostolopoulos. I feel That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's Steve Apostolopoulos.
But I think that the Commanders can be sold before the beginning of the season, and I think it's in their benefit to be sold.
Yeah, probably. You don't want a cloud like that hanging over your head, going into a season where there's a lot of make or break people there. I mean, you'll see what Sam Howell has to offer. You know, it's going to be a big season for the Commanders down there. So
Yeah, trying to think. But other than that, that's all that's really going on for the Commanders. Commanders signed Jacoby Brissett.
yeah.
They signed Andrew Wiley off of the Chiefs. He was their offensive tackle for the past 3 years. I think it's a great signing for Commanders. Big news for Commanders. Daron Payne. They got him to a 4-year, $45 million guaranteed, with a $28 million signing bonus.
Big money.
Big money, man.
Yeah.
But other than that, the issue is Dan Schneider doesn't want to pay anybody. He's really making them hold off on signings and doing anything and trading. And
Well, that happens every time a team's for sale. You
I
know,
know.
you sometimes it's players, sometimes it's the team. They don't want to pay anyone, or the players don't want to sign a contract because they're uncertain what the future of the organization is going to look like. You've seen it in baseball with the Nationals. Juan Soto didn't want to re-sign with the Nats because they were going to sell the team, and then obviously we know what happens there. It's happening in the NBA to a lesser extent. Michael Jordan's supposed to be selling his majority share of the Hornets.
Magic Johnson might also pitch in to buy Commanders along with Josh Harris.
So it's one of those things that it makes players and players more hesitant to sign with your team if that's hanging over their head, because you want to make sure that the owner's gonna, try. That's a
Right.
big part of things.
Other than that, I'm trying to think of what are
Well,
some
the
other...
AFC East is going to be an interesting division.
Why do you say that, Shane?
Well, it's because, I'm just looking at the free agency. I just think it's funny as heck that they signed Kyle Allen as the backup quarterback. Because it's like, either way, there's going to be an Allen at quarterback. God forbid something happens to Josh Allen.
But don't worry, if Josh Allen goes down, Allen's coming in.
Allen's coming in. I want them to trade for Josh Allen on the Jaguars. That would be so funny. Josh Allen never leaves the field.
Josh Allen's always on the field.
Yeah.
Or at least Allen's always on the field.
Anyway, so like Buffalo, they're contenders.
They signed Damian Harris.
Yeah.
He's a decent running back.
But Miami, they made some moves. They got Jalen Ramsey. He's still good last time I recall.
But
right?
He's
Yeah.
real good.
He's still, so that like adding that to your back end might. I mean, he's on the defense, so I don't know if there's like too many like
They
personalities
re-signed
with
the,
Tyreek Hill in there.
they
Right.
re-signed the 49ers running back room.
Yeah,
In-
Mostert,
in-
yeah,
Yeah, they've re-signed Mostert and Wilson. So
and like if Tua stays healthy, that could be a real like when Tua was healthy, that offense was going, and then
Patriots
did a
of
lot.
moves.
They got James Robinson, Juju, Mike Gesicki. So like really good. I wouldn't say really good. I would say they have like decent weapons around Mac Jones now, and who Patriots are still around. They're not as strong as they used to be, but you never know with them.
And then
It's-
of course the Jets
The
signed
Jets,
McCole Hardman, Alan Lazard.
and if and when they get Aaron Rodgers, like that's a decent wide receiver room for him. Like having Garrett Wilson, Lazard, and then McCole Hardman as like a deep threat. That's a pretty good receiver room. I think Chuck Clark is an underrated signing. He's a good, serviceable safety. I'm just kind of biased because he's from my hometown, but I think that's a good, serviceable person right there. So that should be a really competitive division next year.
It's really interesting what the Patriots are doing. The Jets are contenders with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
No, contenders might be too far in the AFC. That AFC
That
is stacked.
defense was really good, and if Aaron Rodgers
back,
can
Peter.
become Aaron Rodgers again.
Someone found out who Saint Omni is, and I was trying to figure out who the guy was.
Who?
Do you guys not know who Saint Omni is? So there's this guy who's almost been like the boogeyman of some free agents getting huge contracts from teams recently.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see it from Ian Rappaport all the time, where it will say so-and-so has signed a deal per Saint Omni. To put in perspective, he just did a contract with a Texan. He did.
Tunsil's?
It was a really big deal.
Larry Tunsil
Yeah.
went from being the highest O-lineman to becoming the highest paid O-lineman.
Yeah, and essentially, he is kind of like.
It's a good one. It's a really good one.
He got a huge payday, and everyone was wondering, who is this Saint Omni guy, because he keeps on getting people huge paydays. He's not a registered agent with the NFL, so technically players are not supposed to work with him. And
I don't like that.
but he keeps on getting people like huge contracts, but no one really knew who he was, and a Reddit detective found his Instagram.
Texans.
It's hilarious.
Texans signed Denzel Perryman. Falcons are hosting Calais Campbell. Anthony Walker's coming back on a 1-year deal for the Browns.
One thing real quick. Brandon Cooks traded to Cowboys.
That man has been traded every single year.
5th and a 6th for Brandon Cooks. Not a lot to give up for a guy who is a really solid wide receiver. What do you guys think? The Cowboys are going all in this offseason. They have to, quite honestly.
Well, I mean,
They don't have a lot of time
they
left.
cut
They
Ezekiel Elliott.
cut Zeke. They replaced him with Ronald Jones, which,
I think that team's gonna go as far as Dak can take him.
well, of course, always.
We
But
also lost Dalton Schultz.
yeah, but they have like army of tight ends that can make up for
Dalton
him.
Schultz wasn't like phenomenal last season either.
He was hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good when he was there. He was really good when he was there.
Yeah.
Then when he wasn't there, the team sucked.
Yeah, it's one of those things. What is this gonna? How much does this affect the Cowboys? There's been a lot of rumors about DeAndre Hopkins to the Cowboys. Does that still happen?
No.
Where do what does this mean for the rest of their offseason? Stuff like that.
I think that they're pretty much going to do nothing the rest of the offseason. They may get Odell, and I don't think that they're going to do really anything, and then they're going to come back next season and be terrible. And it's just going to be Eagles win the division once again.
Here's my question of the day.
Oh yeah, does Aiden have a question over there?
You'd have to text him, but
Yeah, somebody text him. But here's my question of the day. Austin Eckler requested a trade. Where is Austin Eckler going?
Austin, if you like cities, come to Detroit, please.
But don't you have
DeAndre Swift?
and Jamal Williams?
No, he's on the Saints now.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamal,
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
We
How did I
said
miss that?
we said that during the Saints stuff. Jamal Williams, and well, we also have David Montgomery, but I'd rather have Austin Eckler than both of those. So.
Oh, definitely for sure.
I honestly want my Lions to take a quarterback with their pick.
Really?
Yeah, I think it'd be smart if they did.
I don't mind it. I don't think they'll take one in the first round. Because look, there's 4 top guys, right? You have the 4, and then you might be able to throw Hendon Hooker in there if you're still really high on him. He's older and he tore his ACL, but he's that 5th guy. You can probably get Hendon Hooker in the 2nd round. First round, you're not gonna get a quarterback as the Lions because all 4 of them are gonna go top 10. I don't know where in the top 10 they're gonna go, but
Well, they have the 8th pick.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get to 8.
Well,
I
if
think
they
teams will
can
trade
pick up
up.
a quarterback, I really want them to, because Jared Goff after this season may be in for a very big payday, depending on how well he does, and I would love for them to be like, you can,
Jared Goff
you
is
can
better
leave.
than Daniel Jones.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Quite honestly, he's not. We've seen this movie before. We've seen Jared Goff with a good offensive line, a good run game, and that's that. We've seen it before on the Rams. He took him to a Super Bowl. The second the run game falters, Jared Goff is nothing. Jared Goff can't create outside the pocket. Jared Goff needs his weapons to be able to get open, and he needs them to be able to scheme open. Jared Goff doesn't have. I know. I actually didn't know. Yeah.
I was just messing with Jeremy.
Sorry.
I was like, did he take me seriously?
I absolutely did.
He definitely did.
There was one season where I would have said Jared Goff was better.
Oh, if there hadn't been this season, I would have agreed with you, 100%. If Daniel Jones hadn't just had the season he had, and the only they're very similar quarterbacks, except Daniel Jones can run. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother element of the game that can help him get out of trouble.
So the teams that have contacted the Chargers about possibly acquiring Austin Eckler, who do you think the short list of people are?
The Chiefs. No, they wouldn't trade in division. Sorry.
We're gonna go with the Jets.
No.
We're gonna go with the Bills.
No.
The
Really?
Bills,
The Bills not?
should.
The Bills should.
I
They're
would
not
throw-
on this. They're not on the short list.
I thought they were first to get Austin Eckler.
I wouldn't.
Why don't we go with the Rams?
No.
Really?
Here's the short list of teams that have contacted Chargers: Falcons,
Okay.
Dolphins,
All right, that makes sense.
I
Dolphins
hate-
makes sense.
Saints,
All right.
Eagles,
And
Makes sense. They just lost Miles Sanders.
and of course, the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Not to the Vikings. Ill.
Look, if I'm
I
a
mean,
team, look,
if I wouldn't mind
I am the
that.
Vikings.
you got something against Dalvin Cook?
Huh?
You got something against Dalvin Cook?
I mean, it would be nice to have both, but I don't know if it makes salary cap work. I don't know if
Yeah.
Austin Eckler wants to be a bell cow. He wants to be the guy. He doesn't want to split time with another running back like Dalvin Cook.
That's the issue.
I
But
think the Bills are a
honestly,
really
I'm
good
trying to
spot
think.
for him.
Dalvin's had a couple of injury issues.
Alexander Madison's a free agent.
No, he re-signed with the Vikings.
Oh, did he?
He
I
just
missed that.
resigned.
Okay.
Today.
Oh, okay.
Today? Yesterday.
I don't know. I
He
missed it.
re-signed. That's all that matters.
It was very recent.
He's a very serviceable two-back.
He's perfect for
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook. He complements him very nicely. They don't. The Vikings don't have to change their offense.
Not
when
bad.
He's in the game.
The Lions have the 6th overall pick. They could definitely get a quarterback.
6?
Yeah. Because they got it from the Rams.
I think
Right.
what
forgot
might
how
end up
bad the Rams
happening
were.
as the Lions, they might trade back a couple spots from that 6, get like a first and a second. And
Lions, if Anthony Richardson is somehow at the 6th slot, which he won't be, but if he somehow is, just
Take him.
take him, please. Please end my suffering. Make it to the playoffs.
I don't understand you. I thought you hated him. I thought you hated Anthony Richardson.
Not
It's
at first overall.
I don't want him first overall, but 6, that's a good shot to take.
Okay. That's fair.
I feel like the draft capita goes way down from like
Yeah.
1 to 5. Like it's a very steep drop off, and then it's like 6 to 10. There's like a slower drop off.
The NFL draft is not like the NBA draft, where it's like, oh, well, I didn't get this guy, but, there's still a bunch of players. The number 1 pick is usually the best person. So, if it's not number 1, I don't think he should be the number 1 pick. But in the top 10, yeah, you should take a shot at Anthony Richardson.
Well, the NFL draft is so fun just because there's so many different positions. So it's like,
Yeah,
whatever you pick at that.
it's completely different than the NBA, especially because there's so many. The positions are so different. You physically can't have these guys do multiple things.
And it's like so much more impactful too.
Right.
I'm not sure. Wait.
What are you trying to say? What
NBA picks are definitely more impactful than NFL picks.
No,
you
it's just
only
like
have 2 in the entire draft, and there's only 5 players on the.
Oh, no, I didn't say impactful. I said
That's
the
what I said.
positions
Oh.
are so different.
because it's just like it really changed.
Like you can't draft a quarterback and then say, how about we try you out at center?
Yeah.
Well, you
But-
could say after a while, why don't we try you out at tight end?
Okay, how about complex?
Yeah,
It's a lot more
complex.
complex.
I don't know,
Oh.
guys. I'm gonna be honest. 2017 draft. To be honest, the best quarterback in that draft was Mitch Trubinsky.
And with that, we're gonna end our show. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into the Triple Threat Show on WXJM 88.7 FM, Harrisonburg, Virginia, and WXJM.org. My name is Jeremy Lapidus, host of this Triple Threat Show, joined as always by my 3 friends and co-hosts,
Shane Brisland.
Peter Kegwin,
and
Caleb.
Carney.
Yeah.
remember to check us out on YouTube at the Triple Threat Show, on Instagram at the Triple Threat Show, and on Twitter at 3 Threat Show. We thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good night.